Good morning, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Marie's Tuesday tip, or maybe it should be Tuesday thoughts. It was Tuesday the 29th of March 2022, and I was wondering this morning whether I should change this to Marie's Tuesday thoughts. I would love to sit here and ramble on about my contemplations, about my thoughts, but I'm also very aware of that people are limited in their time. It's so much to do. So that was my intention from the beginning, to keep these Tuesday videos very short, just easy to listen to while you're brushing your teeth or doing something else. We'll see what happens. Maybe I will develop it to more of a reflective talk, more contemplation, to open up and share my own experiences in life. We'll see. Last week I talked about the first agreement from the book The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. The first agreement: be impeccable with your word. Really, all these four agreements go hand in hand. They're like a little toolbox you can carry with you. And I think a toolbox that most people wake up to at a certain point in life, that, wow, is this the way it is? Or how can I change my life to the better? We very often seek these questions: who am I? And how can I change my life to the life that I really want? So the first agreement: be impeccable with your word. The second agreement: don't take anything personally. The third agreement: make no assumptions. And the fourth agreement: always do your best. What a life changer if you can really live by those four agreements. So we talked about be impeccable with your word. So don't take anything personally. What Don Miguel Ruiz writes about that, I have my little card that I have up on the wall in my home so that I can read the four agreements every day, because they are a good reminder. So he writes, don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others do and say is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions of others, the opinions and actions of others, you won't be a victim of needless suffering. So think about that. How often is it that we maybe have a chat with somebody else, and that person seems a bit distant, and maybe we take it as, oh, I'm saying the wrong things, or did I say that wrongly? Oh, he didn't or she didn't react well to that. Am I not good enough? All these things that might come out because we talk to somebody else, and that somebody else is totally in the middle of his or her own truth, belief systems, and is merely projecting what they feel in their internal world onto us. So maybe when they talk to us, they do say about us or think about us for a moment, but then it doesn't take long before they're back in their own reality. So important to remember that whatever people say and do has nothing to do with us. It's just their projection. So what if we can be more curious instead? Isn't it interesting how he or she acts that way? Wonder what's behind that. Wonder what's underneath that. Wonder what they are going through in their life. It's a little bit the same, I suppose, as saying that before we have walked in somebody else's shoes, we can never judge them. So that goes hand in hand with this as well. Don't take anything personally, because we don't know what's going on in their life, and whatever is going on in their life has certainly nothing to do with us. So that's the agreement number 2. And I thought I'll take the last 3 agreements in this talk today. This thought, Marie's Tuesday thought. The 3rd agreement, Don Miguel writes, don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions, to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. That's what he writes. And think of how often it is that we just assume that somebody else knows what we mean, especially in close relationships. I mean, how often is it that communication doesn't work because we don't express our needs? We don't tell our partners what need in us is not being met. And we guesswork. We do a lot of guesswork when we think we know what another person is thinking. We think we know why another person is doing what they are doing. We don't know. We're just guessing. And a lot of times we don't dare to say what we feel because we are afraid that we're going to look stupid. So we don't dare to tell our truth. We assume that other people are going to think we are stupid if we voice our fears, our thoughts, whatever we have inside. Imagine how much can change if we start to express our truth with the impeccable word and stop guessing. So let's make an agreement today that from now on we shall make at least one less assumption every day. Oh, I know exactly what he means. I know exactly what that means. Maybe we don't. The 4th agreement, always do your best. Don Miguel writes, your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you're healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstance, simply do your best, and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. So your best is always going to depend on what level of consciousness you are at. And from that level of consciousness, we are doing our best. And that doesn't mean that we can think of a situation, something that happened before, and we can take the learnings from that. And now, when we're at a higher level of consciousness, we do things differently. I think this is what is most important in this agreement for me, is how hard we can be on ourselves, how harshly we can judge ourselves. I shouldn't have said that. I looked stupid. We call ourselves names. I don't do that any longer. I used to. Many years ago, this agreement was important to me because I felt that no matter what I did, I was never good enough. And then, like many of us, I had that sort of wake-up call that, hold on a second here. And I think all those 4 agreements, I was in my 30s, and all those 4 agreements started to ripple through my body. I started to feel it. It doesn't mean that it's always been easy to live by these 4 agreements, and it doesn't mean that these 4 agreements are the only agreements that I live by. But in order to establish my own sacred values, it's important to say my truth, to voice my truth, regardless of what other people say and think. And knowing that I do my best today, this Tuesday thought or this Tuesday tip, this is the best I can do right now, with a level of preparation, which is none. So, yeah, of course, I could have done this better if I had prepared for days and days, but these are meant to be Tuesday tips. I think about what I want to talk about and I talk about it. I let the words flow. Maybe if this is going to turn into Marie's Tuesday thoughts, I have to reflect more on it. I have to give it more time. And I can say to myself that I learned this today, and from that point of view, how can I be a better version of myself the next time? So, yeah, that's another good one that is also included in this, not to compare ourselves with anybody or anything else. We always do our best from the level of consciousness we are at. So let me repeat the 4 agreements one more time. Take them with you and think about them, and read the book if you haven't done so. I also use these 4 agreements in my meditations. I think it's a great thing to meditate on. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions. Always do your best. So if you like my videos and if you're watching on YouTube, I'd love you to like and share and subscribe. And if you're watching on Instagram or somewhere else, share with me if you like me to talk about anything or if you like a tip about something, and I would love to do it. So until next Tuesday, I'm sending you love from my heart to your heart. Bye-bye.